Okay, in this example, we are going to be using our idea of addition of vectors, uh, the addition of vector that you learned previously on diagram like this. So this kind of diagram, it is called grid diagram. So they will draw the vector for you, and then we got to be marking points, or we got to express a certain vector in terms of the given vector. So let me just give you an example for this one first. Okay, so if you look at example 1, okay, we already know, okay, they gave us OQ. So rather you can see it as a vector B. So if you would like to express it as a column vector, yes, you can. So this one will be horizontal 2 units on the left. So it will be something like -2, 0. Okay, and then here you are moving down 1 unit. So you can also express A in terms of something like 0, -1. Okay, but it's really not necessary. If you want to, you can see it that way. So, okay, so make use of the two given vectors, and then we are supposed to express OZ. So some students will be like, so how do I express OZ? So your idea of expressing OZ should be like the addition of position vectors. So OZ should be O something plus something. It's still an addition vector, but you need to make use of the one that is given to you. So for example, it will be something like this. I can see that I will need 2 of this and then 2 of this. So if this 2 should be a 2A. And what about this part, right? This part is the opposite direction of B. So this one is like a -B. So my OZ is actually 2A minus B. So that means this part is essentially something like 2A plus minus B. So this plus this. So take a look. So it's like this side plus this side. That will give you an OZ. So that is your addition of vectors. Okay, so that's how I get my OZ. Okay, so you can erase off after that. Okay, then the next one, you are supposed to mark the point. So you're supposed to mark the point. So you can do the working first, and later on you need to erase the working. So OX is 3A plus B. So that means you take a journey of 3A. So where exactly is 3A? So 1, 2, 3. So you stop. That is your 3A already. Then from there, you're going to do a plus B. So that means you are going to do B horizontally. So you end up here. So this is actually your OX. Sorry. So you join from O to X. So this is actually X. Okay, so you don't need to show the working. Your job is to just mark out the point. So you mark out the point, that will be X. Okay, it comes from 3 of the A and then B. So you add them up. So you get the point X. So the next one will be 2A plus half B. The next one here, 2A plus half B. So 2A, this is 1A, 2A. Then you stop. Then you do half a B. Half a B is just here. So that will be the point Y. So you do not need to show the working. You just need to mark out the point. So you mark the point. accordingly. Okay, then after that, based on whatever you have, we're going to answer the final part here. So XZ. So I need to have this vector. So if you look, it will be this and this. So if you look carefully, this one is a minus B, this is also a minus B, and then this is a minus A. This is going up, A is coming down. So essentially, XZ should be minus 2B minus A. Okay, so the answer here is not exactly correct. Okay, so you play around with the vectors that they give you. Every question can be different. So you need to take note of the direction as well. Okay, so that is how you do a grid question like this. Okay, another one here. This one they actually gave you a grid, but actually if you don't need a grid, you can also answer this question. So anyway, in this question, we are given OA, we are given OB. Okay, the first part is quite easy. The first part um without any drawings, I can also find the magnitude. So if you take a look, A part 1, I can find the magnitude of OA by just doing a formula. So I can just apply my formula. So you will get a 10 units. Okay, then AB, you can also try doing your fill in the blank. So if you take a look here, I can try doing a fill in the blank. Okay, so if you do a fill in the blank, you will get minus 8 minus 6 plus 2 minus 2. I got no space, I'm going to write here. So I'll get a minus 6 minus 8. Okay, so you can actually do it without the diagram. So, but some students, they may prefer to use the diagram to help them. So for example, if some students, right, they might want to do AB using the diagram. Okay, so they may try to do this using the diagram. So how will they do it? So they will see that this is AO plus OB. So some students, they may need the diagram to help them to visualize. Otherwise, you can calculate. Okay, then the last one, parallel vectors. Actually, I also don't need the diagram to help. You can go for the calculation. So let's go for the calculation first. So calculation wise, if you are doing a parallel vector, do remember that you need to have a constant to relate the two vectors. So why is there a constant to relate the two vectors? Because for parallel vectors, they are same direction, but they are different length. So that's the reason why you need to account for the difference in length by using a constant. So from here, you can just do your normal comparison. A bit like simultaneous equation. So from here, you get minus 8k equal to 4 if you compare the bottom, and you get a minus 2. Then you compare the top. Oh, I think I made a careless mistake. It's a minus half. So A will eventually be a -3. So the grid is meant for some students who prefer to use it to help you. Otherwise, you can just do by calculation. Okay, now this is the one that is more difficult, and this one is very similar to O-level question. So there are some O-level questions that are like this. Okay, so this one has some difficulty. So make sure you read first. Okay, so they gave us two coordinates, and then they gave us a QR, and from QR, I'm supposed to find the coordinate of R. So actually, I don't need the I can find it directly by using my idea of position vectors. Okay, so for part A, right, I do not need the grid. I can just do it as using my idea of a position vectors. Okay, so I'm going to show part A without the grid. I'm going to show part B with the grid. Okay, part B can be done by calculation also, but it's going to be quite long. So that's why it will be easier to use the grid to help with part B. But for part A, it's fine. For part A, we just need to find OR. So I'm going to use my position vectors. So don't forget, if you're given a coordinate, you actually got the position vectors. So in fact, you actually got three column vectors to play around. So to play around to find OR. So you look at what you have, you can do a fill in the blank with OQ plus QR. So you will get a 5, 0. So the coordinate of R will be a 5, 0. So reply them in the coordinates format that they want. So part A can be done with the idea of position vectors and also fill in the blank, which is additional vector. But the next one cannot. The next one is more feasible that you'll be using the grid. Okay, so the key idea is PQRS is a trapezium. And the property of a trapezium is there's one pair of parallel lines. So there's one pair of parallel lines. But notice that in this question, they never tell you which is a pair of parallel lines. Okay, so we don't know which is the possible pair. That's why there can be two possible answers. So let's set up the whole trapezium first. So PQ. Now, first thing you must know where is the R. So you've got to use this grid this column vector to help you. So QR. So when they say QR means you start from Q and you move 2 units to the left, and then you move 4 units up, and that's where you get your R. So this is your R. So can you take a look? So QR means you start from Q, and if you move 2 units to the left and 4 units up, that's how you get R. So PQRS. So S is this. So you take a look at S. S is RS. So I need to make use of this part. RS is equal to -12H. So from R, you're going to move 12 units to the left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're going to move 12 units to the left. And then because H is unknown, so I got no idea whether I should be moving up or down. So that means, right, it depends. So this green color line will be where the point S can be. So I'm not so sure whether because of the unknown here, I don't know where to move. I don't know where to move in such a way that I will create a parallel group. So one of the easiest way, okay, is, okay, I'm going to make this into a parallelogram first. So I'm going to make this part parallel. So I'm going to make this parallel. So if this is parallel, PQRS will be a parallelogram. So how can I make it parallel? So I'm going to use this part. So this one is 6 squares and this one is 2 squares. So I'm going to count the square. So I'm going to count the square. So I'm going to count the square. So if I also count 6 squares and 2 squares here, okay, this will be parallel. So I'm going to count another 2 square and 6 square. Then that will be another parallel vector. So this will be my S. So this will be my S and my trapezium will look like this. So from here you count, this will be a -4. So one of the possible values will be H equal to -4. That is when I make QR parallel to RS. So that is one of my trapezium. So that is one possibility. Another possibility, I'm going to make this part parallel. I'm going to make this parallel. So I'm going to extend this until I got here. And then I can make it parallel. Okay, so of course I got to count it carefully. So I cannot be drawing freehand. So I must be counting the squares. Okay, so I'm going to remove this part so that it's easier for me to show you how do you count the squares here. So you'll like to make this parallel. So the counting is here. So you count 2, 4. There will be one parallel vector. So you count another 2, 4. Another parallel vectors. You count another 2, 4. You get another parallel vectors. You count another 2, 4. You get another parallel vectors. So this will be the position S. And this is the other parallelogram. The blue one is another parallelogram. The iPad pencil is not straight. So from here, you count. You count how many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So another possible value will be H equal to 10. And this time round, that is because QR is parallel to, I think just now I wrote wrongly. QR is parallel to PS. So just now this part should be QP. QP parallel to RS. Okay, so I got 2 possible trapezium in this way. So make sure you can see the 2 possible trapezium. So the point are fixed. The P, Q, R are fixed. So S is the mobile one. So from the mobile one, I create 2 trapezium. Then from there, I tell what is the value of H. Okay, so you make it parallel by counting the squares to make it parallel. So you don't construct, it's easier if you count squares.